What's the hardest thing that you've ever done?
Doing castings and modeling. Sometimes math. Tried to put my skateboard on the grass, and that was the hardest thing I ever done.
Solving problems. I don't like math. It's my worst subject.
Learn a really hard tap step. I don't know. When I first went to sleepaway camp.
Skiing down a really hard trail.
The first play that I did, and I had to go up in front of people and say my lines and sing my songs. It was terrifying.
My brother was severely injured in an accident once, and it was a really terrible injury, and I had to call my siblings and tell them about it.
Probably move from Minnesota to New York.
Probably have to listen on my phone from when my dad called me saying my sister was in a car accident.
Move to New York City. To leave my family back home.
Making my final college decision.
Moving to New York City, not knowing anyone.
I had to tell my mother that I was gay.
I worked really hard for 2 years to gain 60 pounds, actually.
Deciding what I wanted to do with my future.
To leave everything that I had back in Italy.
It's gonna get real dark. Is that okay? Yeah, I spoke at my mom's memorial.
Traveling abroad.
Overcome a nearly fatal car accident. I went through a ton of physical therapy my senior year, and I got back into cheerleading, and we came back and we won the state championship. So by far, that's the biggest thing I've overcome in my life.
To bury my cat.
Quitting school and going to treatment for an eating disorder.
Probably like overcome like internal fear. Getting up and moving to a new place.
Going to boarding school.
Ending a relationship.
Writing a 13-episode web series.
Quit drinking.
Go to the Army.
The hardest thing I've ever done is a 2-week trip in Oregon. That was a week of whitewater rafting and a week of backpacking.
But it's also been the most rewarding thing as being a parent.
I'd say go to school while doing a full-time job and still committing to my kids' activities.
Run backwards.
I think the hardest thing was leaving England, where I was born, and coming here to study.
Learn how to show my emotions.
When my corporate job called me while I was at the airport waiting to board a plane to New Orleans and told me that there was a change in the department and that I was laid off, that might have been a little hard.
Being true to what I want in life.
My father passed away, and he passed away in front of me, and having to perform CPR on him unsuccessfully.
I'd have to say go through a divorce.
Move to New York.
The hardest thing that I ever did was learn to forgive my father.
To tell my parents that I crashed the car.
I guess when I have to discipline my kids. Ziplining.
My second divorce, man, that was tough.
Move away from home, leave all of my family that are all on the West Coast to come to New York.
Left my life in suburbia and moved to New York City.
Buried my nephew.
Get divorced and then get remarried to the same guy.
To decide to start my own business.
Getting up on stage and acting.
I don't know, go to college?
Getting through college. That was at a time where I was most sick with my seizure condition, which made studying very difficult.
Come back to my family one time when I was laid off work.
Get my master's degree in architecture.
To leave my family and come to the States by myself.
I left a relationship with someone I loved that just was not going to work.
Take my boat from Rhode Island up through the Arctic to the Northwest Passage and ended up in Seattle.
Getting sober.
Uproot myself from Atlanta and move to New Jersey.
The hardest thing I'm doing at the moment and have ever done is maintaining my weight.
Forgive somebody for something that wasn't easy to forgive.
The half Ironman, physically.
Not getting lost. I think I have this gene that doesn't, can't navigate.
Bury my parents.
If I really tell the truth, the hardest thing I've ever done is to stay married.
Divorce. I needed to do it, but
It is what I call my dark tunnel experience.
Try to control my temper.
Finish that marathon.